Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy HenDawgz, and we back to it. You know how we do it. I missed y'all. It's been a while. It's been a couple weeks. But I had to take care of some stuff, y'all. I had a couple podcasts. I haven't checked out the podcast that I was on. I was on Profanity Nation podcast. I did that last week. I did a Meta World Peace interview. I have another interview coming up, so I've been a little busy, but I'm not about to stop doing my reaction videos. That's something I will never do. I think that's the beauty of me having my channel is even when I got a lot of stuff going on, it's okay. It's okay because I can go take care of that and I can get back to this. So I'm back. I'm back to doing my reaction videos. I actually got another show that I'm about to be in. I can't really tell y'all yet until they give me the okay to announce it, but I'm working on something else, y'all. So I'm trying to stay busy. I'm trying to do as much as I can. Trying to build this platform up at the same time. So it's some exciting times, man. And I appreciate all of y'all for being a part of it. Shout out to the Bird Gang. This is gonna be a Bird Gang video. I felt like it was only right that I hadn't really filmed that much lately. So when I got the time to start filming again, that I get back on my Larry Bird stuff. I gotta miss watching Larry Bird go and tear up the NBA. So before we get into this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I got one of the best YouTube channels on YouTube. I promise y'all that. If y'all haven't tuned in yet, you'll see. And if you are tuned in, then you can agree. You can go ahead and write in the comments and let everybody else know how much y'all rock with me and how much y'all rock with my channel. But we got the NBA legends explain how crazy good Larry Bird was. And I already did one that was like how scary good he was, how unstoppable he was, but I never did this one. So this is gonna be a whole other video that I'm excited to go through. So let's get into it. We're not about to do too much talking. We got the NBA legends explain how crazy good Larry Bird was. Let's get it.
The man from Indiana who gave us an 80s to remember by lighting up a battle between the Celtics and the Lakers will forever be heralded as one of the players who saved basketball. Bird and Magic's coast-to-coast war and jaw-dropping styles gave the NBA the boost it needed before the emergence of Michael Jordan. But for Bird, with 3 titles, 2 Finals MVPs, and 3 consecutive MVP seasons, some forget just how good he really was. Today we look at NBA players explaining how crazy good Larry Bird was in his prime.
Shot the latest hoops for this video, and my question to y'all off the jump is, would y'all say that Celtics and Lakers rivalry is the best rivalry in NBA history? I don't want to say sports history because that could be a whole nother debate, but for as far as basketball rivalries, would y'all say that 80s Celtics versus Lakers rivalry was number 1? So let me know. Actually, give me 3. Give me 3 of the top rivalries of all time. I actually want to see that. Kind of see who y'all rank in those top 3. Let me know.
When speaking of the NBA's greatest of all time, there's always 5 or 10 guys that hit the list. Each carries a different generation. From 50s Bill Russell to 60s Wilt Chamberlain or 70s Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 80s Magic Johnson, 90s Michael Jordan, 2000s Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, to today's LeBron James.
Kobe in there.
Some get overlooked when they shouldn't. For example, Tim Duncan. And others get left behind because of the lack of titles, like Charles Barkley. What happens when all these players talk of another great as if he was like no other? Larry Bird was lauded by most of these legends, because he was one of them too. He was consistent, tough, offensively masterful, and one of the first big guys to shoot many three-point shots. LeBron James spoke candidly in an interview about how he was one of the few guys ever to win a three-point contest with a warm-up shirt on. LeBron referring to the time Larry won his 3rd consecutive three-point contest. James continued,
for young guys that don't know him, they think of Larry Bird as a jump shooter. But he was so much more than that. He was a passer.
Much more.
He averaged double-digit rebounds. He defended, he took charges. And, he's a straight-up complete basketball player, and me as a small forward.
Later in his career, LeBron adapted.
Shout out to Bron for recognizing the GOATs. I feel like it's very important for people in this generation to kind of give the people back in the day their flowers, because without them, we wouldn't have something to look off of and to base your game off of and to figure out what to improve on if you never really had anything to look it off of. So shout out to LeBron for giving him his credit. But I think the most important thing to notice about this is, same how LeBron was just saying where he thought Larry Bird was just a shooter. I thought that too, but there's no way possible that you could win 3 straight MVPs in the NBA and only be a shooter. Like that doesn't happen. That's impossible. Like you don't see Klay Thompson just getting 3 straight MVP awards, or Kyle Korver, or Reggie Miller, like, or Ray Allen. Like you're not, if you're just a strictly just 3-point shooter, you're not about to get those type of accolades. So that right there, like 3 straight MVPs, that's crazy. That's crazy. So that kind of tells me a lot right there. Like Larry Bird was the whole package. He had everything.
His game to the new way of basketball, which was a charge led by the Golden State Warriors in shooting more from behind the arc. LeBron was considered a big guy, but began shooting more threes, and no doubt was heavily influenced by the fact that Larry Legend had already achieved this feat in the 80s. In another interview, when asked about his top 3 of all time, LeBron put Larry Bird firmly in there with MJ and Dr. J.
God, 3. Larry Bird, Dr. J. Michael.
Shaq had a very different opinion on Larry initially.
What y'all think about LeBron's top 3? And give me your top 3 of all time. Is that kind of close to yours? You got Dr. J in there. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm going to go with Jordan, Kobe, and it might have to be Bird or LeBron as that 3rd and 4th. But I don't know. That was real quick. But let me know what y'all top 3 is.
He said he disliked Bird because he was jealous. He thought, how could this regular-looking guy do everything?
Never really had a chance to play against Larry Bird, but I actually used to hate Larry Bird. I hated.
Shaq soon realized as he grew older and wiser that despite getting the luck of the Irish with the Celtics, Larry made his own luck when it came to shooting the ball. Shaq, at 7'1", of course, had a completely different style of game at the time. He was built to the max and used brute force to impose his will on the defense and rack up the points, blocks, and rebounds. Shaq was also faster than most give him credit for, particularly in the early part of his career.
And the rebound, now the Magic with a final shot chance. O'Neal runs the floor, takes it over.
Shaq was huge.
Bird was notoriously slow, which was all the more testament to his skill set, but his basketball IQ was just on a different planet. He once sank a shot from behind the backboard, which O'Neal chalked down to a fluke following a bet with his friend.
And this is the Bird. And it goes.
That's so tough. That's so tough. Mullet Bird.
Shaq never really got the chance to play against Larry Bird, which is unfortunate, because I don't think it would have taken him so long to recognize greatness. On the other hand, 6-time NBA champion Kareem Abdul-Jabbar battled Bird on numerous occasions while playing with the Showtime Lakers. Bird got the better of him in the 1984 finals, and took another 2 in a decade that was largely dominated by the purple and gold. Kareem spoke about how Larry might have been the best he had played against, and said,
how good was Bird? I don't think people look at him and think, oh, he's a white guy, slow guy.
Chubby white guy, he wore us out, you know, because he just, this muscle here, the one between his ears, that was his best, you know, because he made the 3-pointers, and he had assists and rebounded, steals. He was always at the right place at the right time on the court, you know.
It's so cool to hear Kareem kind of up Larry Bird right here, because I can almost guarantee back in the 80s, Kareem wasn't trying to give Larry Bird that credit. Like, they was warriors. They was battling against each other. You see the one little scene right there where they elbowed each other? Like, I'm sure they didn't like each other back then. So to hear Kareem 30, 40 years later talk highly of Larry Bird, it just goes to show the respect they have for each other, and probably the great battles that we can't really see because we wasn't a part of it. But just hearing the interviews, you just know that they had some super great battles. I think that's super cool. But where do y'all rank Kareem at all time? Let me know. Where's Kareem rank?
One of the great players that I had the opportunity to play against.
11-time All-Star Charles Barkley, a regular season MVP during a star-filled 90s, was once asked, "Are you better than Bird?" And he took a long pause before answering, which is very telling.
Am I better than Bird? Oh man, that's a great question.
Most great players respond immediately with how they think they're the best, because you have to have that kind of mentality in order to get to the top. Instead, Barkley answered,
I'm a better rebounder. I'm probably a better defender. He's a better shooter, obviously. You know, a lot of people talk about who's better.
Hey, when you start hearing all that type of stuff, when somebody just asks a simple question like, is this player better than you? And you start doing all that, that means that you don't think you're better than that person. Like, as the competitive nature in yourself, you're going to always say, yeah, hell yeah, I'm better than him. Hell yeah, unless you really feel like that other person is better than you. So shout out to Charles Barkley for not lying, not just going in there and just like, yeah, I'm better. Like, you're like, actually, no, I'm a better rebounder, better defender, but everything else, Bird got it. Like, I think that's funny.
have to think. You have to have that mentality.
No, you know. I think it's just a team game.
I think deep down he knew that Bird was a better player. And for someone as good as Chuck to be stumped like that in an interview shows you how heavy the weight of Larry Bird's legacy was. Former teammate Kevin McHale also references how unreal Bird was to play with. McHale was Bird's right-hand man while playing with Boston, claiming the Sixth Man of the Year award twice, along with 7 All-Star appearances. His story of a specific Detroit game is fascinating. There was a bit of time left on the clock, and we had beaten Detroit, and I just scored 56, and I'm walking off the court, and Larry said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm done." I said, "I'm exhausted. I'm tired." Larry goes, "Don't do it, man, because when I get that hot, I'm not coming out of the game." A week later, he got that hot. He looked at me at about 50 points, and he looked at me and said, "I told you." The pair would go on to win 3 titles together. And McHale would continue to tell stories that live on in Celtics folklore forevermore. A highlight being a throwback from Bird's brutal trash talk at a game in Phoenix.
We have a play, out of bounds play, I'm taking it out, and Larry says, "I'm going to bust off the play, and I'm just going to come out, and I'm going to shoot a 3, and I'm like, "We're down 2. I'm like, "No, don't do that." I'm like, "Let's shoot a 2, please. Go in the hole, try to get fouled. Let's just get into overtime, see if we can't win this game." And Larry says, "No, I'm just going to bust a 3 on him." I'm like, "Oh, my God." So he tells the Phoenix bench, tells the coaches, "Yeah, I'm just fixing to bust a 3 on you guys and just go home. I'm tired of this." And he gets the ball, jumps out, busts the play, comes out, gets the ball at the slot, shoots the ball. As the ball's in the air, he kind of turns towards the Phoenix bench and yells, "Told you so."
Larry's mental game was such that...
Hey, Larry Bird just definitely turned into one of my favorite players of all time because I got that mentality. When I'm playing basketball, if I got the ball and we down 2 points, I'm going for that 3. I'm going for the 3 every time. Like, I'm not trying to go to overtime. I will live with shooting a 3 and missing and losing rather than going for the 2, tying the game up, going to overtime, then losing that way. Like, I don't want to go to overtime. I want to shoot that 3, and I'm not gonna miss it. I'm gonna make that joint. But I mean, just so happen if I do miss it, then I'm okay with that. But I'm going for the win every time. Let me know what y'all gonna do. You right there, that's watching this video. If you was hooping and you down 2 with 10 seconds left, what are you doing? Are you going to the hole trying to get fouled, trying to get a layup, send it to overtime, or are you going for that 3? Let me know.
He could just open up any team and tear them apart. He would use psychological warfare on a regular basis. Players speak of his toughness not because of his size or physicality, but because of his mind. He would impose his will on the opposition and could force them off their game just as much as he could switch on his. A mastermind at trash talk tactics, Larry Bird will forever go down in history as one of the greatest trash talkers of all time. And in the 80s, that mattered. With players such as Bill Laimbeer, Hakeem Olajuwon, Magic Johnson, and the eventual emergence of Michael Jordan, Bird did what was necessary in order to gain that mental edge that took him over the top. James Worthy, the 1988 Finals MVP, simply stated that Larry was trash-talking all the time, but the problem was he could back it up.
Yeah, he could back it up. So, when you're arrogant and you can back it up, you're not arrogant, you're just good. And Larry was good.
Even Werther's former teammate Magic Johnson spoke on the fact that he had a real dislike for Larry Bird as far back as their college playing days for the very reason that Larry would constantly get the better of him. Johnson claimed in a recent interview during a press build-up for the Broadway play about the pair that after he beat Larry in the NCAA championship game in 1979, the most-watched college basketball game ever, by the time he got to the Lakers, they were 0-8 to the Celtics.
You had to hate the Celtics to beat them because when I got here, we were 0-4, I think 8, and then the first time against the Celtics in championship series. And then we lost that in '84. That made us 0-9, I believe.
And later is quoted as saying, "When I played, Larry Bird was the only one I feared." Not bad when hearing it from a 5-time champion and one of the true great basketball players of all time.
Yeah, that is wild that he said he feared Larry Bird. I don't think he really legit meant he feared him. I just think that means like when you about to play against Larry Bird, the night before you're gonna get a lot of sleep. You ain't gonna go out and kick it. You ain't gonna go out and party like how you probably would playing against some scrubs. You're like, no, I gotta make sure I'm all the way prepared. I think that's kind of what they mean by fear. Like you respect it to the highest degree. But yeah, 0-9? 0-9 the Lakers were against the Celtics. That's crazy. And it kind of makes sense. Shout out to Profanity Nation. That's who I did the interview with last week. And they were all diehard Laker guys. They all were born and raised in LA, so it makes sense why they're Laker fans. And they all hated the Celtics. And I get it. You go 0-9 against a team in the finals. Like, I would hate that team too. So it all makes sense.
At the 2019 NBA Awards, Johnson received the NBA Lifetime Achievement Award, but it was shared with, guess who? Larry Bird. Bird was simply the king of talking the talk, then actually going out and walking the walk.
Listen, man, retirement is great for you because you never talked this long.
Dominique Wilkins recounts one of the most famous games where Larry Bird promised Kevin McHale he was going to break McHale's record against Atlanta. Wilkins said,
"He got so hot in that game that you talk about that patented step back. He was doing that step back and he switched it to his left hand 3 separate times in that game. He hit a 3. He was scoring anywhere on the floor that he wanted.
Is this when the bench was giving each other 5?
The bench was giving each other 5.
So did you get in a fight with them after the game? Forget Larry. Did you beat anybody on the bench? Because you giving 5, he's scoring on me.
You had to.
Got fined $3,000.
Larry's legend lives on because of the greats that want to tell them. The reason there's a list of top 10 players who consistently call Bird their toughest opponent or one of their all-time greats is because Larry himself is in that list. Larry is a top 10 baller of all time. His style doesn't matter when his skill sinks the opposition. Because above all, the opposition will remember. They'll remember the steals, the shots, the clutch plays, and the trash talk. They'll remember the Bird from the early 80s, not from the early 90s. The Larry who stepped out on the court in his warm-up jacket and made Michael Jordan recoil in envy. MJ announced,
"He ain't took out his top yet. I didn't see when he took out his top."
Well, when Bird did, it was all business. He may as well have taken a mop and bucket to the floor because he was about to clean up. He was an impetuous and never-relenting opponent that took the life from anyone who stepped onto his battlefield. The consensus is a resounding stamp of legendary status for the man who will forever go down in the history books as one of the greatest ever players, and arguably the greatest ever Celtic to grace the court. What did you think of Larry Bird in his prime?
Great video. Another great information-based video on Larry Bird. I love watching these, love getting more insight on how great he was, especially hearing it from other players. Like hearing Michael Jordan, like, hey, I'm scared to see what he gonna do when he take his warm-up off. Like to hear Michael Jordan say stuff like that, it just goes to show how great Larry Bird was. But I appreciate y'all for watching this video. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't already. Make sure y'all like this video if y'all like this video, and go ahead and write something in the comments. Give me some other Larry Bird videos to react to. If it's other series, other videos like this, like let me know. Like I said, like the last couple weeks I was busy. Doing a bunch of stuff, but I will never stop doing my YouTube reaction videos. This is something I'm gonna be doing 10 years down the line. I'm 29 right now. When I'm 40, I'm gonna still be doing these reaction videos. So we here forever, man. We here for a long time. So if you're not tapped in, if you're not subscribed, get tapped in now. And hopefully I see y'all around. Appreciate y'all like always. We out.